is in the middle, checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Amina goal.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
In the middle, checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Amina goal.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. WSL champions.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Vic Akers Wonderland. We've had a bit of a break, mainly due to work commitments, but we are back for a short while because we are on a little bit of a break from the games as well. We have a little bit of a wait until January until that Manchester United game. But we've got 3 games to cover, lots of news, and as always, joined by the lovely Lottie. How are you?
I'm good. I've been buried in work, closing up for the year. I've closed off on the 19th of January. 19th of January, December. What am I talking about? I'm fast forwarding 4 weeks. I'm wishing the season was here already. Yeah, I'm very, very happy. I've just had an amazing message which you've got me from Daphne van Domselaar, which is just absolutely amazing. I'm still a bit mind blown. So my brain's not functioning. We can all blame that, although it is appreciated.
So I think the best thing to go through is usually around this time is you should get the awards going around. So Michelle Adjaman has won the Young Sports Personality of the Year Awards. That was done Thursday night. So huge congratulations to Michelle Adjaman for that. On top of that, Renee Schlegers and Olivia Smith are up for Manager and Player of the Month. And on top of that, Olivia Smith, not only does she go and score one banger, she goes and scores another banger. And then in the same
But we
game,
know you were in attendance at these games, so it's your fault.
Yes, Katie McKay goes and scores again. All 3 of these goals are up for Goal of the Month. So I think it's fair to say that Sophia Smith, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with people from work. Olivia Smith has basically won this Goal of the Month award one way or another. Although Katie McCabe's strike should not be taken into account for whoever votes for it. I'm sure it's basically either way. It seems like it's going to be a very red Christmas for Arsenal to wrap up the trophies in that sense for the WSL. Arsenal will also found out who they face in the Women's Champions Cup. This is going to be at Brentford Stadium on the 28th of January. That's a 6 p.m. kickoff. Bit of an odd timing, to be honest. 6 p.m. in London, and I'm not too sure what's going on there. But it's the Moroccan and African champions.
On the 28th, Matt, there's 2 games in one day. So there's a 2:45 kickoff and then a 6 o'clock kickoff. That's why we're at 6 p.m. If you've also got to remember that night, the Men's Champions League's on, and Arsenal are at home. So unfortunately, I'm missing those 2 games to go and watch the Men's Champions League because I've had tickets for a couple of weeks now. I had them sort of secured well before this was announced, so we're not going to that. But me and Matt will be at the third place playoffs and the final.
Yes, and that's going to be the 1st of February. I'm looking forward to it actually because it's Gotham and I think it's Corinthians in the other semi-finals. So that's two tasty games right there, and having both games at the Emirates as the final is going to be very special. Very special. It's the first time actually, bar the Emirates Cup, that the Emirates have actually hosted a tournament final. I would have thought that maybe the Conti Cup would have been one that the League Cup would have been one that they looked at. That's now not the case. They've decided to do that at Ashton Gate this season, but it is what it is. Away from the news, then, shall we go on to Crystal Palace? You're still on mute.
Whoops, still doing the old tricks. This one was a bit difficult for me because I couldn't get YouTube to work on my TV, so I ended up watching Multiview, and I just ended up watching Chelsea beat up Liverpool. That was embarrassing. It's at the point where the Chelsea players aren't even celebrating the goals because it is embarrassing.
It is bizarre to see as well that in some of these games that you're seeing Liverpool be basically, I think, like in the cartoon when they put you in a bag and then they throw you around. That's essentially what Chelsea were doing. And to be honest, it wasn't even Chelsea's A team. It was almost Chelsea's C team, bar Sam Kirby coming back from injury. But in the meantime, Arsenal took on Aston Villa. Crystal Palace. Aston Villa's the FA Cup in the FA Cup, which I have failed to mention as well. Leo Cadina's header in the first half from Kyra Cooney crosses corner, and the second half, Beth Mead jingling all the way into the Palace box to cleverly pull back for Stina Blackstenius to smash into the back of the net and secured Arsenal's passage into the semi-finals. Well, who do they face? They will face Manchester United after they I hate when they say this because they came back. They didn't really come back. It was a game where they were losing 1-0 and they turned it around 2-1 at the end. That will be most likely at Meadow Park on the 21st or 22nd of January. That will be to book the tickets, the final ticket at Ashton Gate, as already mentioned.
I think the games over the weekend, Sky did irritate me because they didn't do a replay on Leia's goal. They did a replay on Stina's goal. And it was more focused on the Man United game, and they don't look good. So I think we might have their cards marked if we don't have a slow start when we come back. I think I watched both Man United and Spurs play back to back. The draw, obviously the draw, and then the win, and it just it was interesting to watch because obviously the Spurs manager used to be Skinner's assistant.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting to see if they could outsmart each other. Leo Cadina, I always love a Leo Cadina goal. It was just so sublime in the way it was done. She just pops out of nowhere and boom, it's in the goal. And Stina just doing Stina's Blackstenius things. Like, I love that girl. I love her so much. I think she's just absolutely brilliant. And we sit there and joke, oh, she's always offside, but she's got a lot better than for what she was doing.
Yeah.
But I just big game player moments. You know, Stephen Blackstenius is going to be there.
This is also her competition. She does love goal in the Conti Cup. I've done it again. League Cup. In the League Cup. I'm too used to saying Conti Cup, and we're now the Subway Cup, and I refuse to say it's the Subway Cup because it sounds like a youth
sounds like a sandwich.
Yeah, either that or it's a sandwich competition that Subway sponsored. So it's the same with the men's. I always call it the League Cup because it used to always be the Carling Cup. Now they've changed sponsors, and it's just too many. It's too confusing to keep on changing the name of tournaments and things like that. It's anyway. I only saw the first 45 minutes because I had to go out for a family dinner. So that first 45 minutes for me, it felt very odd because Arsenal had a lot of opportunities, but he just couldn't hit the back of the net for whatever reason, apart from the Leo Cadina one. Although there is some not a obsession, I should say, some opinions that because it's deflected off the goal, the defender and gone into the back of the net, it should count as an own goal. I think the rules actually say that a goal only counts if the ball is moving away from goal, so it'll be a shot or considered a shot off target, which is always a bit of calamity, to be honest, because sometimes there are instances where a goal is an own goal, but it's been given just because of a slight deflection. That's second. Did the multi-view show much of the Sky get much of the second half?
Not really. It was more on Spurs and Man United because that's the only one that was really lacking in goals, and it was cagey until Everton decided to score. And it was just, I sort of was watching the small screen, but because of the lighting down at Crystal Palace's ground and where they had the cameras, it was absolutely awful. And plus, we were in a white kit in the sunshine. Geniuses. But I get why we had to wear that one, because obviously can't wear the blue one, can't wear the red because of Palace's colours. And we can't expect them not to wear their home colours at their own ground. Yeah, no, I only really saw the goal. There was nothing else that the commentators really wanted to highlight on. It was just there because it was there. They focused on the WSL sides playing each other, really.
Really.
Excuse my language.
Well, no, it's the best way to put it, isn't it? As it's Man United, the last time these two played each other was actually, in fact, when it was the Conti Cup, and it was a knockout game, and it was Jonas Vardaveld's first season in charge. Man United won the game 1-0 that time around. This is the first time since then. How you've already slightly mentioned already that you think Arsenal are going to win. The side of this is Man City play Chelsea, and usually what happens, whoever plays Man City, whoever beats Man City goes and wins the trophy. So I'm hoping. Sorry, go on.
Chelsea aren't Chelsea this season,
Right.
and there's something on the cards that teams can get at them. I mean, we were all Evertonians that day. Don't anyone try and deny that ever. So it just goes to show you can get at them. Sort of, and with Leah Williamson back as well, it's making me. I'm looking at the fixtures and I'm getting a bit cocky. I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen. But obviously, with Leah Williamson, we're waiting for minutes, and I think she did really well from what I've seen in the highlights. So I think slowly get Leah back in, get her with the perfect pairing, and I think we're off. I really do, because I enjoy having the back four of Emily Fox, Leah Williamson, Steph Catley, and then have Katie on the right at the moment. But it does leave questions. Where do you leave Taylor Hines? Where does Lotta go? Where does Leia go? And it's going to be about managing their minutes.
So when you look at the squad, I'd say in the summer, one of the issues was that Casey McCabe was basically playing 90 minutes. Emily Fox was playing 90 minutes. So the idea would be to go and get someone that could do a job that be also very consistent. Taylor Hines fits the bill, knows the club from her time originally as a youth player. She's gone XYZ. And to be honest, she is, when you look at her, especially when it comes to Champions League games, some of those Champions League games, you think, can she step up and can she make her mark? And she has. And I think she is no Olmeritz, but she is able to score goals. I think that's the only other way I can describe it. Noel Moritz was very much the same. She would give you those 7s and 8s out of 10s, but she would never.
Speaking of Noel, happy birthday!
Yeah,
we are recording on the 23rd of December.
It is one of those things, isn't it? That you do look at, and where there does seem to be a plan in place for a right back to come in January. There is suspicions that another goalkeeper's coming in because of the injury to Manu, and Daphne as well being very injury prone. There is rumours going around about that, but
Yeah, she played a lot of minutes without being injured last season, so
Yeah.
it's going to have its knock-on effects. She had some
To
of
be-
her best games last season I've ever seen.
when I look at Anka Borg, I think she actually did really well in these games. These are 5 games that she's played all 5 of them. She did really well.
She did amazingly well, considering at Twente she got literally stamped on the head. I couldn't believe that. I was in Southdown and I was right in front of me. I was just like, how are you not sending her off or giving her a card? There was no cards at all, but like she was standing there at full time and she went to walk forward and she lost. It looked like she was swaying. So I was a bit concerned about her because of her head injury. So, yeah, it was a bit concerning that game from the South Stand. It was cold as well.
Well, from one competition to another in the Champions League, Arsenal headed to Belgium. This has been, if you're a Lioness fan or know the Lionesses, they do hate this stadium. They've been to this stadium twice now in the last couple of seasons and lost most of those games, both of those games actually. But it was joy for the Gunners beating the newcomers to the Champions League. Goals from Olivia Smith, Beth Mead and Asar Janssen own goal was enough for Arsenal to secure a 5th place finish. They would have been finishing in that 4th place, but I think it wasn't Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg lost to Juventus. It was Chelsea. Chelsea were 1-0 down to I can't remember who they were playing, but Chelsea won 1-0 down. And had that finished 1-0, Arsenal
It was Wolfsburg because I remember talking about Alexandra Pop.
Yes.
Do you remember I said to you, "Oh, she doesn't seem so bad now."
And Juventus
and then it went pear-shaped.
That's it. So Juventus were losing as well. I can't remember exactly who they were playing. So basically, everything was going in Arsenal's favour to give Arsenal the chance to finish 4th. Chelsea then equalised and then ended up winning their game. So Chelsea leapfrogged over everyone else and finished in that 4th spot. It did mean, however, that when the Champions League draw, there was a chance that Arsenal could have faced Atletico Madrid or OH Leuven again, home and away, and an opportunity to, I think it was Bayern Munich, might have been the opposition, or Chelsea. And Arsenal ended up getting OH Leuven again, while Manchester United got Atletico Madrid, and they'll say again. And Arsenal will face Chelsea in the quarterfinals. Are we going to end up seeing a bit similar to last season? Arsenal and Chelsea going again, like last season when Man City played Chelsea 4 times in that little. Are we going to see the same with Arsenal, but in more competitions?
Maybe not. I'd have to check the dates because I'm not 100% sure on that. I just feel a bit bad for OH Leuven.
Yeah,
I think I said that right. Because they've had an absolutely. If you look at their run, they haven't been beaten until us and I think it was Chelsea, and now they're back on this road again. For the first time, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth. You've given them. They've been dealt a rubbish hand, to be honest with you. And they've now got to come to us. They've got the opportunity to come to the Emirates, which will be a definite experience for that whole team because I believe they're the youngest team in the Champions League, if I remember correctly. And I think it will be an amazing experience for them. I mean, they've been brilliant. I think they'll definitely approach the game completely differently to the way they approached the first game. So I'm hoping René's got a different game plan for this because you can't get away with playing the same team twice and expecting to win the same way twice because it's not going to happen.
I would imagine that there'll be a bit of squad rotation and nitpicking. I think that they've already decided this isn't going to be at the Emirates, it's going to be at Meadow Park, but it's still an opportunity to go and play in the Champions League and give them their flowers because in the game itself, they a bit similar to Benfica. They really gave Arsenal a run for the money. Okay, the first 2 goals come in within the first 20 minutes, but afterwards they held their nerve and they did really well to hold Arsenal
Thing is,
almost at arm's length.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I love about these new teams. They're just a wild card. You don't know what you're going to get. Obviously, when the draw was on, I was like, I don't know who these are. Like, I don't know who this team is, but I'm always excited to have a look and like the new players and things. Even with the Women's Champions League fantasy football, I think I've got one of their defenders in there. She's absolutely had a brilliant tournament. I can't remember her name. It's going to annoy me now.
You'll find it when you come back and you'll be like, oh.
Yeah, I know it begins with an E. I just can't think of who it is. If you do know who I'm talking about, please drop it in the comments and correct me here. But it's really, she's had an absolutely sublime tournament. I mean, I've tried to watch as many neutral games as possible, but there's only so many hours in the day you could be watching football. But I just, they've been dealt a really rubbish hand. They've got to come to the Emirates and we've got to go back out there again. And then whoever wins those 2 legs, it's Chelsea, which are not the normal Chelsea. So I think it'd be really interesting. I have said several times this season that we're going to beat them at some point this season. And if it's the WSL, if it's the League Cup, if it's the Champions League, I don't care. One win over them will just make us insufferable. We're already insufferable. Like singing Champions Europe, you've never seen that to mid-table teams. It's not cool. I get it's a whole vibe, but it's starting to grate on me. I'm not gonna lie. I get it when you sing it to like Man United, Chelsea, Man City. Do I dare throw the Lionesses in it? No. Tottenham, yeah, I get that because it's Tottenham. But the lower half of the table, there's no point. Sorry, I'm having a whinge. I digress. I don't know because I'm also guilty of doing that when I'm at games. I don't care. Like people are there to join us house, so who am I to like judge? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, we're going to beat Chelsea at some point this season because there's something that's not right with them. Because they've lost to Everton, there's something not right there.
I have a feeling they are going to end up buying a load of players in January.
Yeah, there's also that as well. So that problem could be fixed. So I might not. I need to stop rubbing my hands together.
They say, but you say that, but I think usually if you look at Chelsea, they're already strong in attack. Their midfield is probably where they could probably improve. Same in defence, and your goalkeeper, you've got Hannah Hampton. So it's not like they're a weak squad or anything like that. It's more they haven't adapted to Sonia Bompasta's way of thinking, I think, fully. I think last season was sort of riding off Emma Hayes' goodbye, and now
the thing is, it was working. Last season was still working the way that Emma Hayes wanted to play.
Yeah.
This season, she's brought in Ellie Carpenter. She's brought in Alicia Thompson.
Yes.
And a couple of other players are the first 2 off the top of my head. Ellie Carpenter knows how Sonia plays. This is why Ellie Carpenter has been the best player at Chelsea. And no one can tell me otherwise because she knows how she needs to play. Whereas everybody else needs to sort of adapt their game to how she plays. So it'd be interesting to watch and see what kind of happens with Chelsea for the rest of the season, or if they're going to go and spend over budget and not get caught, or etc.
Now that we mention it, it is one of those things that I think my problem would be is that Chelsea will see it as they're not scoring enough, and they go and get there is Trinity Rodman, who is at this current moment is out of contract. Man United are supposedly after Leah Schürrle of Bayern Munich. So it's not really. It's a case of where she goes.
Yeah, no, it will be that, but we do our business behind closed doors. Like, how many times have you heard Man United's getting this player or Chelsea getting this player, and they go somewhere else? Well, with Chelsea, I wouldn't say Chelsea, but Man United, yes.
I've heard a lot of announcements over towards Manchester.
Yeah. Apparently, Lindsay Heaps is looking at us.
She is an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, exactly. She's been hinting. I've seen a couple of interviews and she's been talking about us. So whether she's going to come in this direction with the influence of Emily Fox, we shall see. But again, you don't know what influence Emma Hayes has over there. Because you know Emma Hayes is going to get them to go to Chelsea.
I think, to be honest, I think she wants to go to Arsenal. I think she wants to do it before she retires. So
yeah,
if there's that opportunity, she'll do it. But
do you think she will fit, Matt?
Honestly, I didn't expect it when we saw it against Leon in that semi-final. She ran the show, so that shows to me that she is very capable, but she needs someone else alongside her. With her and Kim Little, it could work, but then where do you put where are you pushing Mariona Caldente? Because of where at this moment in time it's almost like a 4-4-2 formation. So unless you're putting Stina on the bench,
and then unless you put question marks over Kyra, and what about Victoria Pelova? There's also if you're bringing in Lindsay, what happens to those two because they're struggling as it is.
I
know Kyra's had a good run, but I don't see the likes of Victoria Pelova staying where she is very long.
I still think Vic Pelova's best as the attacking midfielder, not further back. If you push her further back, she isn't able to influence the game the way that she does. Mariona Caldente is very good at what she does, and Vic Pelova can learn from her. So that's where I'd see where she plays. So I would see it as a 4-2-3-1 formation. I would say potentially what you could do is have Lindsay Heaps on the bench and Kim Little, and they could swap. So it's a like swap, and that leaves Kyra Cooney to be able to do what she wants. But when you do look at when they do the 4-4-2, it doesn't look right. It doesn't see, if you know what I mean. It just doesn't seem. They don't seem to adjust or are able to implement what they want because of the way the game goes, if you know where I mean. It is a bit of concern, but for me,
it's more like it's something that's not right. And we kind of look at it and I go, every time we've got Stina up top, Leslie's dropping back and doing the legwork, which is great. Her work rate is phenomenal. She works her socks off every game. I can't complain, but I kind of expect her to be up top as well, a bit more than from where she is, if that makes sense.
Alessia Russo's best attributes are in that final third. Yeah. If she's in that middle third, she can do it, but she's not as effective.
No, agreed. I mean, because if you got Leslie dropping back, that means Mariona drops back, and Mariona can't pull her magical strings along with Kim if Russo's dropped back and she's not up top. And that's what I've really struggled with this season. Like, where we had Mariona as a sort of the 10 most of last season, it worked and it was so smooth. I know we had Leah Volti there, and her missing is left zero midfield. There's just been a massive hole, and that's how teams have been running us this season. And it's been really difficult. But I think, going back to Lindsay Heaps, I think she could be the hole filler, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, Leah Volti's not replaceable. There's not that many two-footed players in this game, and I don't know what the hell Arsenal were thinking, not getting her to stay. But I just hope it works out. I'd like to be proven wrong.
Something that's where I think this season. The league is going to be won and lost in January in terms of who comes in and who goes out.
Yeah, I think we all know who's going.
Yes, we do know. One is definitely going for certain.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see what else happens as well in the window. We'll keep you updated with anything going as it stands. All right, then shall we get on to the last WSL game of this calendar year? Away trip to Goodison Park. First time Arsenal have played at Goodison Park for the women. Their first time. And you know what? Looking into this game, I was looking forward to it. It was going to be a really nice game. The Everton fans were getting themselves amped up. They haven't had great a season so far, but they've just come off a win against Chelsea. They've now got to go and face Arsenal, who they've robbed points from in the past, and they know that they can do it. So it was always going to be a case of, can they do it again? And it wasn't. Although it was one strikes galore, Katie McCabe opened goal scoring with a nice little banger from outside the box.
Of the season.
First goal of the season. And as we know, Katie McCabe only likes to score bangers, and it's usually when I'm there as well. But
you look at you, your title.
But it wasn't the only one goal in this game. Hano Hayashi equalised with a really good footed volley just a few minutes later, and then Alessia Russo added 2 minutes later after that. So it was a bit of a goal scramble in that first 20 minutes. There is some confusion about this as well, because people thought it was Caitlin Ford's goal, and that's what came up on the board. But no, the lino said that Alessia Russo, because of the way it went, the ball just deflected off her chest and just spiraled over into the back of the net.
Thing is, what's her name fell into the goal, so the ball did go over. Although
Courtney Brosnan's trying to get a hand across it, but Caitlin Ford's just there to tap it in anyway. So there was confusion over who had officially scored the goal. It's gone down as Alessia Russo's goal, and
Katie McCabe's goal was complete art in itself, as usual. I mean, it's given me the goal vibes that she scored against Man City from the corner.
Oh yeah, when she just dragged it and just
she just slotted it in. She only scores bangers, and it's really quite enjoyable. But the next 2.5 minutes was just complete and utter chaos. Like, I know Katie's goal was amazing, but what happened to that defending? I mean, Matt, you were there. How the hell did they open us up like a can of beans?
It all stems from the same problems that I always say, is that you back off. And because you back off, you give Hano Hayashi a small amount of times, and she just gets there, and she's able to volley it. It's a really good goal. I'm not taking anything away from it, because it is ended up being goal of the month contender as well.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, like, no one was marking her. Obviously, I was watching from home. I wasn't there. From your seat behind the Everton goal?
Yeah, you can see me in my black coat. Just stand up and applaud it, because it was a really good goal.
She just wasn't marked, and it was just kind of like a lapsing moment. Whether it's the aftermath of a banger from Katie, I don't know.
I think what also didn't help was the fact that they undid themselves, because it was Arsenal who had the possession, and Everton have then gone to press, and because of the press, they haven't realised and switched on, and that became a bit of an issue because they didn't switch on. They didn't realise what had happened, and before you know it, the ball's in the back of the net, and then you have to start again. And that just as well that Alessia Russo was alert to put the ball in the back of the net, as we've already said. But the game wasn't finished. The game was not finished at all. Second half, who comes onto the pitch? Olivia Smith. Everton fans are booing her, and you know what she does? 3 minutes from time, she picks up the ball and does the Olivia Smith thing of scoring a really good volley just on the edge of the box. And I just sat there and gone, Jesus, because that was how good it was. Like, you could just, there was no way you could really stop it. It was a really good volley, and even closed down, she just couldn't get enough of it. It was fantastic goal, but Olivia Smith, another goal in the tank, another banger. That's 3 now, 2 in a row that I've been there for. So, just watching this game, what was your thoughts going into watching this whole thing?
2.5 minutes of absolute chaos, and then I fell asleep. I was like, "We're 2-1 up. Get some more goals." But Everton being Everton, low block FC turned up. So it was just like, I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep for the last 20 minutes. I was bored. Well, I'd say from about 60 to 80 minutes, I actually fell asleep. And then my mum kicked me, so the football's on. I was like, oh shit, I'm awake now. But I kind of said to you, like, let the chaos reign. I love this. And then it just kind of went flat on its face. I did feel sorry for Caitlin Ford. I really did. Because that would have been a nice goal. But again, the liner says the ball went over the line by Alessia Russo. I'll take it. My fantasy football was happy. I'm not complaining. But yeah, no, Olivia Smith, she seems to be one of those players that thrives off fans disliking her. I think she silenced them with that goal. Bit like Rachel Laws when we're behind her. She has them. Or Kyra Keating, best games of their lives with the Arsenal fans, because it's drive and motivation, and it's not someone you're gonna shy away from. I mean, I remember Beth Mead talking about Tottenham fans having a pop at her and then home from the corner, and I think Viv scored off that, if I remember rightly.
Yes,
Absolute dirty place in North London, not the Arsenal, of course. Yeah, it's times like that where you want your strikers to step up, like strikers, wingers, to step up to the plate like that, especially if the fans are goading them. I think she deserves the goal of the month, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
she really does. Or any goal at this point. Katie, I'm really sorry, but you can't compete with 3 goals like that. You really can't.
If you wanted to, they could try and share the award around with them, because I think Olivia Smith's got another one for the opening game against London City Lionesses.
Yep.
So
that one as well. That's up there with my goal of the season. Do you know what? So far, I think from this sort of first half of the season, I think my favourite goal has been the Emily Fox one. That has been my favourite goal, where Leah Williamson screams at her to shoot at the Emirates. It was just absolutely mind-blowing. Olivia Smith racks under that, but Emily Fox, that is my favourite goal of the season so far.
I think when you do look at it, when players that do shoot and it goes in, they do find themselves a little bit surprised by it, and that what makes it a little bit like if Taylor Hines goes and scores, say against Tottenham or Manchester United in the League Cup final, a semi-final, for example, like it will be a really top quality goal. It's not a case of these do things like they're not tapping merchants. They have to go for the spectacular. I'll include Leah Volti in that. The goal against Liverpool a couple of years ago where she volleyed it. It wasn't meant to happen, but it happens.
That's always going to be your favourite goal.
Well, it's just it's special. It's special for different reasons. Like the fact that Leah Volti actually scored a goal. The fact that you're there, it was just one of those that it's like you and the Steen. Whenever you think of a Stina Blackstenius goal, were you there? Yes, I was there because she got and scored the goal against Chelsea that won the Conti Cup, or you were there when against Barcelona when she scored that goal. These are all important moments where the best players show themselves and reveal their true, not the true, I don't want to say true colours, but then they're able to show off a little bit more of their creativity, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that really helps that when they can score these sort of bangers. I didn't.
I've always
Go on.
said to you, there's some players in that team that make football look like art. So a lot of people turn around and say to you, football's not art, but when you can appreciate the level that we're at, like it's not. I don't want any comparisons to men's game. It's still football, but it's completely separate identity to the women's. If you look at the level we're at and how our opponents have progressed since we've won the Euros, the growth has been phenomenal. And if you're the type of person that has been watching for like even longer period of time than I say I have, shamefully, because I started the season with 1 Euros. It's not shamefully, but you know what I mean. You can appreciate how far the game has come and their level with football. And a lot of people are moaning that it's getting shoved down their throats, but there's also a market out there for women who want to watch women's football, because when you look at some of the men's games and you look at how, I'm going to use Leah Williams, for example. I was at Meadow Park and she got thrown on her head during the Champions League game, and she literally landed on her head, head first, and then the rest of her fell over at top of her head like a tumble. She got straight back up and she wasn't lying on the floor running around. And I know a lot of people who say, "Oh, I prefer women's football," because they get taken out. But they won't roll around stay on the floor. They'll get straight back up and get on with it. Unless it's actually genuinely serious. But back to Leah, she got up and within a few minutes she was standing there holding her head swaying and she had to sit back down. And that's obviously where the head injury protocol kicks in. But you look at the men's game, you just tap someone and they just go down like they're dying. I think, who was it? I find it a lot when we play Newcastle. I'm going to target Bruno Guimaraes in this conversation because he drives me absolutely nuts with his little dark arts. It was quite funny because whoever they were playing at the weekend, I was watching the game and they tried to use his own dark arts against them and it didn't work. So, but there are players out there that have mastered the dark arts. I know the Arsenal men have.
I think there's a difference between men's dark arts and women's dark arts. You look at someone like Chloe Kelly, and like she'll do small things that, like the incident with Katie McCabe where she tries to draw the where she's trying to delay the throw in, and Katie just ends up throwing it in her face, and it's a lot different.
That backfired. It backfired massively.
But
you can also look at the time she was mucking about trying to do a corner when she was playing for City. It was so windy. The corner flag smacked her in the face. And I was in the North Bank that day, and it was quite empty because the weather was really bad and it was snowing. Well, sleet. And it was just silly stuff like that because she was mucking about with it. She was winding us up, and it was just like, oh, come on, get on with it. And then it smacked her in the face. So it's just like, it's the banter is there. As much as we love her now, the banter will always be there. And it's nice to sort of see the personalities of the girls for it.
I've always found it's a lot more of a relaxed environment than it was at a men's.
As a girl at the men's game, I'm always watching my back. So with the women's, I can just chill out. I don't feel like I have to drink excessively, and I can do what I want, sort of that, without any pressure. So
I think the problem is with the men's is that I'll sit and watch some of the games, and it's also, as soon as it goes backwards, sideways, it's just like I could have just got a sleeping bag and just fell asleep. This isn't football for me. Football's entertainment. I've recently gone to a League Two game, and I was enjoying that than I was ever enjoying a Premier League game, and that tells you everything really of the state of where the enjoyment is, and whether you like it or not, people they are entertainers now, and you're now getting moments of joy from all the little things. It could be a small nutmeg, and then all of a sudden
I know I shouldn't. I mean, I'm going to go back to the 20 game. 20 were on the attack towards us, and I think I got a photo. I've actually got this photograph of Caitlin Ford being nutmegged. And it's little moments like that, although it's not great for us, it's kind of hilarious as well.
Imagine if you get to meet her one day, you can say, "Can you sign that?" and just see if she laughs. So it's things like that.
Oh, do you know what? You can't do that anymore. I don't want to
No,
fight the teenagers. Really,
no.
just don't. I'm privileged that I've got the selfies I do have. I've got ones
Yeah.
with Beth Mead, Frida, Kim Little, and Jordan Nobbs. That is my favourite one. Because that's the season she left Arsenal. I think I've got a couple with Manu as well, because she's always got time for sort of the adults. She kind of hangs about and then lets the kids move off. And then she comes to some of the adults that are waiting, which is really nice. But yeah, I don't have the patience for it now, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, I think we have now officially moved away from getting the photos with the players and things like that. It's just one of those things, but
No, it's
I'm
really
glad that we're
difficult
moving.
because
I'm
everybody
glad
wants
this.
one, and it's fighting over it, and it's not worth it anymore.
I'm glad
Really
that
isn't.
it's moved on from that because
Yeah.
it became chaotic. I mean, it was usually the same people asking for a photo every single game, and it's just like, no, forget it. Go and grab someone else. It's
Yeah.
just annoying, but I'll always treasure the ones that I got in the end. I mean,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got Leah Volti, didn't you?
I've got Leah Volti, I've got Leah Williamson, I've got Jordan Nobbs, a bit similar to you, but some of those ones that I'll always treasure. I mean, my favourite one is probably the one where me and Steph Catley, after the FA Cup game against Liverpool, I've accidentally not realised that there's a step, and I've slipped in the mud, and she sort of laughs at me, and I'm laughing at her, and it's things like that that you always remember. Or when Beth Mead at the
Oh
end
no,
of
absolutely. It's a bit
that
like, I think it
season.
was end of season for the women, but the men were playing West Ham directly after the game. And hang on, I think this was like tail end of 2022, May 22. Yeah, it was, because other things happened at that point. And my now current partner, he's standing there watching the start of the West Ham game, because he came to the women's game. I think we just played Chelsea and we got our asses kicked. And I'm standing there hoping for Kim to sign my shirt, and I got her to sign my shirt. And she said immediately to him, "Is that the West Ham game? What's the score?" And I think it's one of the most amazing things ever, because we see the gym crew photos. You got Mikel Merino, Mariona Cadente, but Kyra and Miles, and you see all that kind of interaction. But to have that in a general conversation when you're sat down and they're chatting to her, it's absolutely amazing. And you know she's Arsenal through and through. And it's just great to see that they're supporting each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you did see that occasionally when it through odd interviews and things like that. I remember Rob Holding, I think it was Jordan Nobbs at the time, were talking about dogs and things like that on Sky Sports a couple of seasons ago. But it's things like that that always make you feel that they appreciate each other, and they actually try to connect as a one club mentality. Sometimes it doesn't pay off, sometimes it does. It's just one of those things.
It does. Thing is, they're in the same shared space, and it can take moments like Mariona and Mikel Merino. That's obviously a little bit new, but they're both the same nationality, so that is it could be the connection. Again, Miles and Kyra, brother and sister, so they say, but it's just great to see, you know. I don't want to dive too much into gossip, but you see Declan Rice chatting to Beth Mead and stuff like that, and it's kind of wholesome, and that's what the club are going for. Well, you see it more so now.
Shall we get on to the table then? Because the all important thing at this moment in time is Arsenal are 8 points off top, and that is Man City, who are on 30. Their only loss came that first game of the season against Chelsea. Chelsea eventually losing that game against Everton. They are on 24 points. Arsenal 2 points behind them with 22 points. 1 loss, 4 draws, 6 wins. Although, ironically, Arsenal and Man City do have the same amount of goals against, and that's 10. So, what would you like to see? We have now seen that the teams are on 11 games each week now. So, what would you like to see more of from Arsenal in the second half of the season?
I need us to be more clinical and cutthroat. I know I say this every January, but I really need them to do it. I mean, we're sitting in third for now. I feel like Man United are going to drop off, but not drop off to the point where Tottenham are biting at our heels again. It's just some of their performances. I think he's going to chuck everything. He's not going to chuck everything into the Champions League, but Man United are so thin on the ground. I don't think their fitness levels will keep up with it, and they're going to be tackled by injuries. Skinner has said it over and over again, sort of thing. But I just want us to be more cutthroat and just don't take any prisoners. If we go 1 down, fine, go and score me 2. You know, if we go 2 down, go and score me 3. There's no, especially with the league, there's no coming back from 2 legs.
Yeah.
We were comeback FC last season, and we can't be doing that in the league. Matt, what do you want to see?
These draws need to be turned into wins. So it means that, for me, I'll take the Aston Villa game. We're 1-0 up. Last minute, Aston Villa got a corner. One thing you want to do is see out the game and make sure that you don't do anything silly. What happens? Lucy Parker goes and scores from that corner. So for me, it's you need to make sure that the defensive structure is there, because you can't win titles on just a good attack alone. Chelsea may have done it in the past by scoring 6, 7, 8 goals. Although oddly enough, they've only got 19 goals so far this season. But they've conceded the least amount at the moment with 6. At this moment in time, Arsenal not only do they need to score more goals, they also need to make sure they're not conceding silly goals like we've seen. You can go and let them concede 1, but if that's the one, it shouldn't be the wake-up call.
No, it shouldn't, because I don't know whether it's a mentality thing or what. You look at that back line. Yes, we've done a patch job bringing in Lotta and Steph Catley together. But those two have been at the club for a while. They should know how to play with each other in that sort of position. But I think what we're missing is Leah Williamson. She's such an integral piece to that back line, because she leads that back line, and then Kimmy's leading the rest of the team, sort of thing. And it's great. Don't get me wrong, it's great to see. I mean, you see her get the armband when Kimmy comes off, and it's like, yes, that's my captain, sort of thing. And I think, dare I say it, once Kimmy goes, we know who the captain's going to be. Yeah. And there's no one better for the job for me personally. There's nothing wrong with the centre-back being a captain. If you're going to try that argument with me, go and look at Tony Adams.
No.
For me,
for me, the perfect person after a central midfielder as a captain is the centre-back, because they can see everything in front of them, but they can't see anything behind them. So if I had to go by positions, you'd go centre mid, centre back, and then that possibly leaves the bottom 3 as striker. Ideally not, because you've got
striker
everything
goes
behind
down the
you.
bottom of the list for me, followed by striker, goalkeeper, winger.
I don't think a winger's same sort of issue. You only see one side, you can't see the other sides. The worst one for me, goalkeeper, because everything's in front of you. You can't run the whole length of the pitch if you feel like there's something unjust, because you've got to sprint all the way back. So it's just one of those where
you can't yell at people. Whereas if you're a full-back or a centre-back, it kind of works, because you can move out your back 4 to go and sort the other end of the pitch and then come back. You can switch alternate between the 3 and the 4, which is what both Arsenal teams have been doing this season. I've noticed really massively. Although we lay out 4, we'll convert to a 3, and then we'll switch back to a 4, which I quite enjoy. And then you've got the wingers swapping places and stuff. But yeah, no, I just want a better 2026. I want another Champions League trophy as well. Can add that to my Christmas list.
I've been saying this for a while. I want a WSL. I want an FA Cup. I want that day at Wembley.
Yeah, but then again, I don't want to go back to Wembley. I'm traumatized.
I know you're traumatized.
But an FA Cup game, no, I don't want to go back.
I really think
Ben
it's
Beater
been
and
too
Lotto
long
giving
now.
me bad memories.
It's been too long, and they need to wipe those memories clean for definite. And we have an opportunity to win the trophy already at the start of February. Can Arsenal go and win something else? Is another possibility. Is the WSL up for debate? Well, you've got to. So we'll wait and see. But for now, like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment all your thoughts and feelings. You can follow us at VAW Pod across Twitter or X if you want to be that kind of person. You can also follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky. And where can lovely people find you, Lottie?
You can find me at Lottie_AWFC. And yeah, on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Skies. I'm not really there, but yeah, I'm existing. But I believe we'll be back with some transfer window stuff over the holidays once news crops up. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that we'll definitely do some sort of January update. It might be every 2 weeks or something like that, but we'll wait and see. You can also follow me at MattLR28 on all the good stuff. But for now, as always, for the last time this year, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and come on, you Gunners.